How's everybody doing? Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to understand a Virgo part 2. And yes, Virgo, let me tell you, he's something else. He's something else. We had talked about in the last one. Look, the spirit, they always wanna be a part of it, they wanna be in it, you know. Let me tell you, um Virgo, we talked about 4 types. We talked about, we got the shy man. Then we got the gigolo. No, 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 no. Yeah, I think of American Gigolo. The movie The American Gigolo with Richard Gere. And Richard Gere, the actor, is a Virgo. And he played the shit out of that role. You gotta watch American Gigolo. It came out in my time when I was in my 20s. Richard Gere and I almost are practically the same age. So he is a Virgo, and he's the Gigolo, the pretty boy type. Okay? Who's another one? John Travolta, although he's Aquarius. He plays, again, Saturday Night Fever. He played, the Barbarino with a sexy body, because a sexy body can dance and can probably fuck the same way, too. The character of Barbarino, played by John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever, is the typical gigolo Virgo type, okay? The number 2 type. Who else can we mention in our days? Nelly gives off that energy, too. Who's another one who the innocent type? Chaz the rapper. Chaz the rapper portrays the shy type, innocent type. You can see it, and he may not be a Virgo, but I'm talking about the archetype. It helps if it's Virgo. There's so many. Who's the other one? There's got to be another one. The shy one, we talked about Bob Newhart, right? Okay, that's a much older generation. Okay, but we have who else do we have that can personifies that shyness, but still be dipping it and doing it behind closed doors. You gotta watch the movie Usual Suspects by Kevin Spacey. Google that movie. It came out when I was in my 20s. A hell of an actor. Usual Suspects. Kevin Spacey is in that movie. I'm not gonna say nothing. You see Capricorn there, you see Taurus there, and you see Virgo. That Kevin Spacey rolled it up in one. You've got to watch it to understand the psychology of Virgo. Then you have the Con Man. Did you watch that movie Catch Me If You Can by Leonardo DiCaprio? Remember? If you have not watched that movie, watch that movie. That's Virgo number 3, the con man. And he's a chameleon. Like all 4 types, right? All Virgos, including myself, we're chameleons. We'll do anything to fit the role, to get us to our motivation, to get us to where we want and get what we want. We will play that pilot. We will become that jigster. That movie, he played the shit out of that movie. Yes, that's the Virgo, the con man. And he was good with the details, forging the checks, making sure that it was the right ink, making sure that it was the right signature. All that is Virgo. The devil in the details. That's the con man. And Leonardo DiCaprio played a good role in that movie, Catch Me If You Can. That is Mercury. That's Gemini, the trickster. It's Virgo. That's the 3rd type. And you can see he was a Casanova. He was good with the ladies. He got into their panties and also got into their wallets. Do you see that? James Bond by Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming was a Virgo, and he created the character of James Bond. And it was the typical Virgo archetype. This was also the gigolo. And he had body, and he slept with every woman, every chance he could. But he was smart, see? He was the hustler, the gigolo, He didn't care who or what woman had his body. And he was bringing in the money. That was a hot ass Virgo. Yeah, James Bond. So understand, Virgo is very complex, and he comes in many types. Need something stronger, Sometimes vodka's like, But yeah, Virgos come in all kinds of forms, baby. Right? And who's another con? Well, if you watch the show American Greed on TV, there's a lot of Virgos in there. A lot of Virgos. A lot of you have to understand, you don't have to be a Virgo. The con man, the concept of the con man is Virgo. The archetype is Virgo. It's the trickster, the hustler, the one who plays dice and dominoes on the streets and play numbers. Bootlegger. Shyster. In seedy places. Seedy. Out somewhere in a corner smoking crack. And doing all kinds of things behind closed doors in the dark, nasty, getting nasty down and dirty and low. That's Virgo. And all four types can go through those phases. Usually when they're younger. When it happens much older, it's because they missed out on it when they were younger, and now they want to play catch up when they're older. That's usually what that's about. And of course, we mentioned, you have the con man, then you have the thug. And you and I probably know a couple of thugs out there. There are a lot of thugs out there. And this type of Virgo, like the con man, he's the drug dealer on the corner, the drug dealer on the block. Or he's the one that is the bouncer in a gay club or a straight club. He puff. He got muscles with tattoos. And it may not be really who he is, but it's a game. It's an act. You have to remember, Virgo pulls from the opposite polarity, which is Pisces, right? Two fishes going in opposite direction. Jekyll and Hyde. Heckle and Jekyll, Lord and Hardy, Tom and Jerry. It's two. And they'll flip on you and you don't know what's going on. So it's two sides for each of the four major types. So really you're dealing with 8. And instead of 12 subtypes, you're really dealing with 24 subtypes. Virgo is very complex. And they come in many forms. And today, we're going to talk a little bit of a specificity of those details of Virgo. But understand that the planet Mercury moves very fast around the sun. You think the moon moves fast? Nothing. The Mercury moves real quick, real fast. Real fast. And therefore, it gives you different phases of itself. And you don't know which one you're getting. And by the time you figure it out, it's already moved to another phase. So now you're getting another phase. And it's ever changing. It doesn't stand still. Pretty much like Gemini. Okay? Understand that? So, having said that, the thug could be a really nice guy. I've met many thug Virgos that were bouncers in both gay and straight clubs. And I also see them in places that is kind of like very dangerous to be in, and there could be, I met 2 that were hitmen, I could take you out, and a couple of, and there can also be that go-go dancer at night to pay the bills, but he could be a family man in the day and sling dick in a gay club somewhere. Not be gay either, be perfectly straight, but it's about business and getting paid. The gigolo man can also fit that role if there are other factors involved in his trauma growing up. You know, each of these Virgos usually come from some kind of traumatic background that awards them to develop the personality that they express, that you then encounter them with these kinds of personalities and these kinds of egos. You know, no Virgo is born a gigolo or a hustler. You know, you become that. You become a product of your environment. And Virgo is mutable earth. So it can be very, very adapting and adaptable to its environment. Okay? Now, a little pause here. Virgo has a reputation in the world, he has a reputation in the world of not being the most romantic and exciting lover, you know, he may appear to be. On the surface, he does appear to be that perfect guy, you know, that you would love to have a romantic relationship with. Right? Yeah. And this is something that appears on the surface for Mr. Virgo. There has been many women who have been very disappointed when dating a Virgo man. See, he's not emotionally available. You know, cry some women. He's not affectionate enough. Still, another cries. Or he's too fussy. No, too fastidious, detailed. And the list goes on and on and on. It seems that Mr. Virgo can't do right. No? What is it that sparks Mr. Virgo's fire? What really is it? Well, each four of the types will require a different answer. So if you want an answer as to what makes Virgo tick, then we have to look at 4 different kinds of answers to answer that question. 4 separate answers, okay? Because, you see, each Virgo type is different in what he needs. It's what he needs that determines what kind of Virgo he's going to turn out to be. And these needs have a lot to do with what he did not get in his childhood or what he got too much of. It can cut either way. So you need to know right away which Virgo man you got or which Virgo man you want to catch. And each one will require a different type of net. Oh, yeah. The shy Virgo wants to feel needed. He wants to rescue you. He wants to improve you, educate you, groom you, and direct your moral compass. Oh yeah, that's the shy Virgo. He's something else. He's something else. Especially if his decan is Taurus. He will tend to be possessive and quite jealous. Yeah. Yeah, those Virgos in that Taurus decan, gotta watch out for them. That quiet demeanor, don't let that fool you. He's a Jekyll and Hyde. He's a Jekyll and Hyde type of personality. You know, it usually comes out when he's emotionally aroused or provoked. You know, so you got some of these Virgos that can be very, very, very quiet and very, very docile, but they will fuck you up if you provoke them emotionally. See, another thing about Mr. Quiet type of the Virgo, number 1, is that he believes in investing in your personal development. He will be your friend, your sibling, that could be a brother, that could be a sister. He'll be your lover. You know, in whatever emotional capacity he sees and feels that you need, he will become that. In a way, that's not a bad thing. I kind of like that. He will be someone very good to you. He will adapt to your feelings and your emotions. Okay? He's conscientious, considerate, practical, and kind of like genuinely concerned for you. But it could be a little bit too detached as far as empathy, as emotional sentiment, Although he wants, okay, yeah. Although, he wants, to know you. You're not going to get to feel this type of love and appreciation through his kisses. But he will show you through his thoughts and through his actions how much he really cares about you. See? You might not feel that special spark when you kiss him. And you might not feel that he even loves you. But he does show it by what he does for you. The investment of time for you. Trying to get to know you emotionally and trying to figure you out and trying to understand you. That is the way that the quiet man will try to, that's where most of his treasure will lie. It will lie on that premise. Okay? This man will be devoted to you. No doubt. No doubt, without a doubt. This man will dedicate and devote himself to you. Now, let's talk about Mr. Gigolo. Mr. Gigolo? Mr. Gigolo is a predator. That's the first thing that you gotta put yourself in your head. The second type, Mr. Gigolo, he's a predator. I know that's hard to say, but he's a predator. So if you want to catch the attention of this man, you've got to look, smell, and even taste rich or like you got money. And a woman who seems kind of lonely. He will lower his standards on the type of woman that he will sleep with. Okay? He will do that. He will not sleep with a woman that he truly, really likes. He'll sleep with one that he will probably never go for in order to get at the benefits. You see? If he feels he can benefit by sleeping with you and being with you, even though he knows secretly that you won't be his type, he'll do it because of this. And other perks. There are many guys that do this. That falls under Virgo, the hustler. See, these women will not mind though forking the cash and going along with the ride with this guy. Okay, he's sexy, he's hot in bed, and a very demonstrative lover and attentive. Unlike the quiet type, he knows what makes a woman fall in love with him or with any man. Oh yeah, don't be surprised if he likes to party. Using drugs, to either go through or get through the experience. I know. Either way, sex is sex, and he won't mind. He won't mind as far as what he has to do to get there, whether with the drugs or not, or in his head. See, he usually fancies himself as an irresistible Casanova. He do. Remember, the original Casanova of the 1920s, he was a Pisces. And the opposite of Pisces is Virgo. And that explains why you got so many Virgos that can be very sexy and play the role and play and walk the talk and walk the talk and walk the... You know what I'm trying to say. And then that could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The opposite of Virgo, Pisces. The sign of the whore, the harlot. That's in us. So he has a romantic side as well, though. See, that's the part that we don't really get to talk about with Mr. Virgo. Okay? He has a romantic side to him that borders on fantasy and idealism. See, and that is kind of like a problem. Like Mr. Libra, where they idealize romance and sex to such an ideal. Remember Rapunzel? Capricorn, Rapunzel. So it becomes unattainable because it's unrealistic. He might look at you but not see you. Okay? He might have those rose-colored glasses of Pisces and only see what you should be rather than who you are. So then, that doesn't make the relationship real. It doesn't make it genuine. You understand what I'm saying? Because he is just using your mind and your body and his own head and his own fantasy, not really having to deal emotionally with the person that's in front of him. So he basically checks out. But you see, this type of Virgo is usually easily manipulated by women. Women will see him coming and will prey on him. Either way, though, it adds to the excitement of the moment. Plus, he gets laid either way, so it's all good with this type of Virgo. His background, usually with a man like that, however, is usually not so colorful. Abuse is part of this man's profile. His predatory personality speaks of a background that's based on survival. This type of Virgo probably was a victim before he became a predator. So there's a lot going on there. Then you have the con artist. The con artist. Okay? The trickster. He is cunning, manipulative, wicked, highly sexed. Yeah, he likes sex too, and the kinky type, like in the park, in parking lot, in dumpsters, just kinky, dirty too. He likes prostitutes. He likes women on the street, just kinky like Mr. Gemini. And then there's a low-grade kinky level to Virgo when it comes to sex. Remember, it rules sadomasochism, Marquis de Sade, But the con man's sexuality is a little bit more conservative. It's a little more conservative. He's very conservative and selective in whom he sleeps with. He'll flirt and tantalize, but will not promise you sparks in the bedroom. At best, he's sensual. He's that. His trauma is based upon being poor or experiencing lack of material resources. These types of Virgos may be limited in their education too, and therefore resort to a life of crime. Survival is also the theme for this type of Virgo, this category of Virgo, right along with the gigolo. Okay? He talks a good game. He has, like Mr. Gigolo, the second type, a silver tongue. He will charm you right out of your pants and out of your wallet. But he can be vulnerable, innocent, and the Virgo beauty will peek its head every once in a while. Yeah. This type of Virgo truly wants to be liked and loved, but may not know how to. He may not know how to even give love or experience love. And this is true of all four of them. The thug man is the one that, I'm telling you, he's the bouncer at the gay club, at the straight club. He's the hustler. He can be all of them all in one. Or he can be separate. He can be that guy that can be the hitman, or can be the one who is the solicitor, and then come to his home life in a completely different type of setting of who he is or what he is on the street. So you see, Mr. Virgo is complex. And if you are going to deal with this kind of man, and let me tell you, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But you have to understand that you are going to probably experience some great pain. because they don't take life seriously until they're much older. And even then, depending on which type you get, you are going to have to always stay ahead of them mentally because they always got something going on with them. And just complete how to understand a Virgo man.